And we are live once again. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome once again to Do-It-Yourself Budget Hot Rodding. And in this live stream, we're going to talk about Project Spirit. Okay, we're going to talk about some car shows that she's done in the past and some places she's been and some of the good that Project Spirit has actually done for the community. And right now, we need to be reminded that good can happen more than anything. I'm going to be telling some really awesome stories. There's plenty of content right now, but I figured now would be a great time to talk about, just the places she's been and the things that Project Spirit has done since being a part of the Prince Magnum channel. Thank you so much for the like. We already have one in the live. Thank you so much. So as people begin filing in, we're going to go ahead and start kind of telling those stories about Project Spirit. Hey, what's going on, Sean? Good to see you today. Good to see you. Figured today would be a great day to begin telling, to tell some stories about Project Spirit. Right now, with this whole pandemic thing going on right now, I don't think we were all set for car show season this year, but unfortunately, until we get the all clear, I know there's not going to be any car shows. And I mean, I know that bums me out. I know that bums a lot of you out, wanting to see if Spirit's going to bring home any more trophies this year. Thank you so much for the second like. But right now, the main thing is that everybody stay safe. Don't want anyone else getting sick if we can avoid it and that sort of thing. So in the meantime, we're just going to kind of focus on what we can do right now here on the channel. We got plenty of work to do to Spirit, plenty of work to do to Project Lena. When we do get that all clear, the cars will be in great shape. Of course, we'll still be showing them as project cars no matter what. But the thing of it is that we'll have plenty, basically the cars will be in good shape. And worst case scenario, if we don't get to do any car shows this year because of the lockdowns that are beginning to happen now, kind of across the country, if that does become a thing, and we can't do any car shows, Princess Faye and I already talked out a plan that'll still be fun for all of us here on the channel. Basically, if you're a member of the Maverick Nation, you'll be able to get involved with this. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a great time. We'll talk a little bit more about that probably a little bit later in the stream. But the main thing is we're going to talk about where Spirit has been after all these years, what she's done since being a part of the channel. Because the last week of October, Project Spirit will have been with the Prince Magnum channel a grand total of 5 years this year. So I know because I mentioned she got trophies, and I've said it a million times, and I know a lot of you have seen the clips. Let's start talking trophies. This is Project Spirit's very first trophy. This is the one that she got back, believe it or not, all the way back in 2006. This was her very first trophy. She took third place in her class, and because of a lot, depending on how a car show does their trophy system, if it's a fully restored, it's got to meet certain requirements to be considered fully restored. Because we make those changes that take her far enough away from restored to custom. Usually, that's street machines and or something like that. They'll have a special name for it for the custom area. And unfortunately, Project Spirit usually has to fit into that class. And she's usually going up against some pretty heavy duty customers, I guess you could say. So because of that, her first showing, and as a matter of fact, if you look at my icon picture on my channel, if I'm like say in your chat or something like that, or leave a comment on your channel, you see that little icon, that's me leaning up against Project Spirit. That was her very first car show back in 2016. And I'm going to have to update that picture now because I've gotten a little bit older since then, and Project Spirit's changed a lot since then. So because of that, that's where, if you will, right here, this is her very first trophy. Now, when we took her in, uh, remember, I mean, uh, a lot of people were shocked to see a Maverick. By now, I mean, everyone's pretty well used to it. Hey, what's going on, T Belly? We're just doing a live talking about my classic 75 Maverick. And basically, I figure a good story, good positive story about, working on cars and what we have done to an old classic, because my car is a daily driven classic. As a matter of fact, if you look at my little icon picture whenever I'm in your live, I'm actually leaning up against my daily driven 1975 Ford Maverick. I still drive it. The original engine is still there. We've changed a lot of stuff on it, but I still drive. I still drive a classic, and which that probably does surprise you because of the fact that we do. Because if I do video games, it's usually retro, or it's a series that has been around forever and a day. So I figured it would be a great time to show off, because we all need some positive vibes. I figure I would tell some positive stories. Well, the original engine is actually coming up on 300,000 miles. It's never been apart. So that's what we call original mileage. Project Spirit's original engine actually has its all original miles. So coming up on 300,000 and was built in hey, what's going on? Hey, how you doing, Clifford? Real quick, because T-Belly, for those that do not know, T-Belly runs an amazing video game live stream, and he has me as a moderator. There we go. And and Clifford, you've been in here enough. I know you'll watch my back. There we go. All right, Clifford and T-Belly. If you guys will say something in the chat, you guys will notice a few minor changes to the color of your names. All right. So basically, I was telling the first story when I went to my very first. Hey, T-Belly, you've been, when I'm in your channel, you know that I'll watch your back, and I know when you're in my stream, you'll be watching my back. So it's all good, man. All right. So, uh, whenever when I'm at a car show or something like that, I always, some people will bring their trophies. I just show mine off at home or in a live stream. We've even got some video footage. I'll have to run the stock footage again of Old Spirit with all of her trophies. Hey, what's going on? Hey, A&R, another good friend of the channels. Thank you for stopping in. But this is her very first trophy, and boy, Project Spirit. We're just showing off Project Spirit's trophies. Unfortunately, this year, I mean, there's an excellent chance that we may not get to take her to car shows like we normally do in the past. Um, you know, and I was really looking forward to car show season this year, but with the pandemic going on, I don't see much of a chance of getting out. Um, right now, St. Louis, which is about an hour and a half from where I live, is now on lockdown. But if that's what it takes to eradicate this pandemic, then I'm down for it. Okay, I'll live. Okay, Project Spirit will be ready to go by the time this is all said and done with. This just gives us more time to get her ready to bring home more of these. Okay, but yes, this is her very first trophy, and ironically enough, um, you know, like I said, she really was still pretty beat up, and at that time, I mean, she really was a time capsule from 1975. I mean, we're talking we had just barely put in the Hurst shifter at that time, and she still had her original transmission, which the following year she had to go into the shop and have that replaced. But that was her. This is her very first trophy, third place in her class, and she didn't even look like she was ready for it. But by golly, she brought home that was her first trophy back in 2016. A little bit later on, Princess Faye had her own Maverick. We thank goodness we were separated by 1 year. So I was put in the category from like 1970 to 1975 models, and then Princess Faye went into 76 to like 95. And so she was the only one in her class. But because she was, even though she was the only one in her class, and I wouldn't dare take that away, she brought home a first place trophy with her 77 Maverick. But I was in a classification with a lot of cars that were from like the earlier 70s, and they were in a lot better shape than Spirit because we were still doing a lot of work at that time. I got runner up in my class. So, hey, that's not bad, right? I mean, runner up in my class, which I guess you could say. Yeah. I posted on my community the one how to do the rubber band and your ring. I posted that one. I did the video earlier last year, but I reposted the video, kind of put it up on the community page. So um, I did give it away. There was two that I gave away. Obviously the one where the matching card, but I'd already given away the ring trick. But I'll tell you what, if you stick around to the end of the stream, I'll give away the three ladies. Is that fair? Okay, we'll make it a three. All right, I'll give away the secret on that one. But this is Project Spirit's runner-up trophy, which I guess you could say she tied for second place in her class. And again, she wasn't in that great a shape. Um, Still yet, we had a lot of work. As a matter of fact, it would be anytime, brother. It would be actually a month after that, we found out that we were going to have to start looking at how to replace the entire front disc brake, well, the front drum system, and of course now we got disc brakes on there for the 70 to 73 Mustang, and that took me a long time to get all that together, but I was glad that we did it. But at that time, yeah, she was still in pretty rough shape, and all the pro. This was like her. This was her second charity car show at this time. The first one she did was, of all the things, how cliche is this? Her second car show. Yeah, John Schneider. Yeah, I knew John Schneider was going to be figuring out how he was going to do that. And of course, with Kenny Rogers now passing away, I don't know if anyone's heard how Tom Hanks is doing yet, but we're probably going to see a lot of our older celebrities get hit. Um, and I know most people, I don't know if y'all would be surprised because of the Prince Magnum channel around where I live, and because of my time at McDonald's, because I've been always known as that funny guy, that cheerful funny guy who works at McDonald's is known for his drive-through antics and everything. So along with the Prince Magnum channel and that because I've always had a quite a yeah, I'm waiting to hear how that goes too. And the fact that, I'm the proud owner of Project Spirit, a lot of people in this, so I'm kind of like one of the local celebrities. And a lot of people, I've been talking about how, I'm a little nervous because I'm a little older and I had that stroke. And, because of my PTSD, I do have a little bit of a heart condition. So a lot of people are also worried about me too here at home. Um, so I'm playing it extra safe. But anyhow, this was Project Spirit's second charity car show. The first one, and this is as cliche as it gets. Um, we did. Oh, thank you, dear. My lovely wife coming to top off my coffee cup. Yeah, I'll be extra careful, T Belly. Um, but if you will, because I live in a small community. But anyhow, with the second car show that we did was literally a charity car show to raise money to hopefully find a cure for blind children. So literally, I mean, this is as cliche as it gets. Project Spirit's second car show ever was to help raise money for blind kids. And I know that's almost laughable, but this was one of the first tearjerker stories that Project Spirit has to her name. I was talking about it, trying to tell people, and I even talked to a few people that said put it on the radio that that one of the local YouTubers is going to be there with his project car, and it actually helped. Even though Project Spirit herself, basically what they did was they put some cups out there, and people would drop money into the cups, and every penny counted as a vote towards your vehicle. And at the end of it, that's how they did the trophies. Well, Spirit did not trophy that day, but because of saying that a local YouTuber was going to be there, and I'll run the footage again sometime on the channel. But with that whole event, I was actually on. I actually had to get out there and on microphone and actually kind of thank the community for being there, thank the Foothills Car Club for being there, and it was my first time doing a public appearance like that as Prince Magnum and for the channel and everything. So it was really neat. But then the next charity car show was this one, and it was to help repave the roads in a town in one of my old hometowns. I actually graduated from the high school down where that was, and both Project Spirit and, of course, she's that car is not with us anymore. Project Vera, Princess Faye's '77 Ford Maverick. We had taken to that car show. It was really awesome. Both showing both Mavericks there. So that was the second trophy. And I know some people will say, "Oh, that doesn't look like very." Hey, I was just glad that I was glad to be there. And as a matter of fact, the people that asked us to come to that car show, they had seen us over at Walmart getting brand new tires on Project Vera, and we took both Mavericks over there. Uh, Hey, T Belly, thank you for stopping by. It means the world to me, that you came by to show some support and to get some positive vibes. I hope the stories are positive because that's the main focus on all of these streams. And we're going to try to go live as many times as we can. I know there's going to be a couple days here and there where I'm going to have to take a day off, and it's just going to be loading content that day. But it means the world to me that you came in, and hopefully, if you took away, you take away some positive vibes that get you through the day, then that's just that makes it. Never mind the watch times, never mind anything else. If you can walk away with something positive that helps you kind of get through the day, get through this whole mess, then that makes me feel a whole lot better. So thank you for being here for me because believe me when I say. I could use the rest because like everybody else, I'm emotionally exhausted. But if getting live means that it's going to help somebody today, then that's all that matters to me. So thank you for being here for me and inspiring me to continue to put out, to come live and try to stay positive for everyone. So thank you, T Belly. And if y'all have not checked out T Belly, be sure you hit him up. He's again an amazing guy, very friendly. Just a wonderful gentleman. He's one of the biggest supporters to the Prince Magnum channel. He shouts me out regularly in his lives, and I'm actually one of his moderators. Um, and just a positive gentleman through and through. And before this whole mess hit, was even doing giveaways of Nintendo Switches. So if that's any indication what T Belly is like, uh, you know, believe me when I say he's a fine, fine gentleman. So if y'all have not got the opportunity to hook up with him, please do so. All righty, so moving on. So that was Project Spirit's next car show. The following one that we did was I think it was at an Oktoberfest. And I did not trophy that day. As a matter of fact, they were only able to do one trophy. But here's the irony of that. The one trophy that they did do ended up going to this kid who him and his grandpa actually built this really nice looking Model A Ford. But basically, the proceeds from this went into a private school, a private Catholic school in Farmington. Um, and I told him, I said, if it's going to help the students or anything like that, that sort of thing, raise money and all that, shout it out on the radio, tell them that that there's going to be a local YouTuber there, the Prince Magnum channel. I said if it brings people in and helps increase revenue, hey, please use my name, okay? And they're like, oh yeah, yeah, and then once the show was over, um, you know, Princess Faye and I moseyed around a little bit, and then we, you know, it was actually it was kind of a one that I was a little upset about because it was like I went to leave and they basically it was almost like glad you're leaving, so they were kind of hateful towards me. I don't know if maybe I did something wrong. I guess I could have rubbed someone the wrong way or something. But no hard feelings towards them or anything like that. If I helped raise any money for their church, that was even better. You know, so no hard feelings. But it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But hey, it is what it is. I'm not gonna bash nobody. You guys know how I feel about that. It's water under the bridge. Um, and um, no, I don't have any hard feelings towards them. Just it's safe to say they were. It was just one of those deals that I guess they were all stressed, and it was getting later in the day, so it could have been any number of things. And a car show is grueling on all parties, and that's not a joke. Mm. It's very grueling on everybody. The people that put on the show, the judges, and the people that are there showing their vehicles. It can be very grueling. And if you run a YouTube channel, it's like doubly, grueling because there's going to be times that you have to, when you do, if you're like me and you're doing the YouTube content and the you're showing video footage of the car show itself, and then at the same time, you have to represent your channel. So there's got to be times that you're going to have to be over by your vehicle and you're going to be answering a gazillion questions. You'll have to excuse me, I'm burping a little bit because we just ate not too long ago. So I do apologize for that. But you're going to be you're going to be over there answering some questions about your project. And then at other points, you're going to be out there filming. And you're going to be talking to a lot of people. They're going to, so it can be very grueling. And then that doesn't even include, thank you for the fourth like. And that doesn't even include that if you go to if you go to if you have the awards ceremony where you're picking up a trophy, because then you're sitting up there, because nobody knows except the people putting on the show. Which that now brings me to the fourth show that Project Spirit was in. This is her one and only first place, and this one was at West County High School. The high school kids, along with a couple of the teachers, put on a car show every year. And what they will do is with that car show, all the proceeds go back into certain school functions like band, the different music courses that are out there. Thank you so much, ANR, for coming in. Means the world to me. Hang on a second. Before you run back to work, you have been in here enough. I don't know why I haven't done this sooner, but you are now a moderator, ANR. Thank you so much for being here for me. I know you'll watch my back every time. Thank you so much. Okay, so first, this was Project Spirit's very first place trophy. Now, how she got this was very interesting because just about every car show that we go to, we have a trifold, kind of like this. This is her old one. We're getting ready to redo this one, but basically like this, and it's even got the places that she's been. But we're going to be doing a brand new board, and like here, it might tell some of her, what's been done to her, and then over here, it'll have like her backstory, which, Princess Faye is usually my artist on that. So she's got, so that's how that works out. And you usually get a placard from every car show. I think I'm actually missing a couple. One of them I found while cleaning the office today. Yeah, that one's from Country Days from a couple years ago. And see, right there, that one's actually from her very first place trophy. So I've been collecting placards. Matter of fact, the car show that where she got her second trophy right there. You know, so you've got these to kind of go with the storyline. But anyhow, uh, her first place trophy when the students, when they came up and they were reading her board and they found out that she was a YouTube project car. They're like, that car does not leave here without something to show for being here. So make sure that car. And so so the teachers actually had to go and jockey around, kind of move around the trophy system a little bit. And so basically, Project Spirit would actually get a first place trophy because the students were threatening to riot. It was kind of like that. And I've never seen anything like that. I mean, that was actually the very first time that I realized that the Prince Magnum channel could actually make a big difference to the community. For any of those students that might still be watching, thank you guys so much because this was her very first one and only car show trophy. And Project Spirit still wasn't to the condition that she is now. We're talking that she's had a long ways to go. We got a total of 4 people in the stream and a total of 4 likes. Thank you guys so much as we're telling stories about Project Spirit, my 1975 Ford Maverick. Hey, what's going on? Oh, wow. We have someone all the way from Singapore. Thank you so much for joining the live. Who else we got? We got Gotans. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much for being here. Right now, we're just telling some stories about my 1975 Ford Maverick. If you look through enough of anything that says DIY budget hot rodding, or do-it-yourself budget hot rodding, you will see Project Spirit, my 1975 Ford Maverick. Oh, thank you, Gotans. Appreciate it. Good to see you. So this was, I just got through telling the story about Project Spirit's very first, one and only first place trophy, and this is it here. So this is Project Spirit's first. And the irony of it is her very first trophy is a third place, and it was bigger. So if that's, the first place, third place, and this was her very first one, and this was like her third one. I know I'm probably going to butcher your name, Rowan. Thank you so much for being here in the live. Yeah. So this was and then after that, we had to do. There was actually a big tragedy that had happened in our area. This gentleman who owned this repair shop over in Park Hills, which is a couple towns away from where I live. Him, his wife, and his kids were down in Florida, just having a good time and everything. Horrible accident, killed both parents, and the kids. Basically, the kids were laid up in the hospital and everything. Family was getting ready to take over and take care of them and everything. So mom and dad's no longer with them. The community got together and with the firehouse from Leadwood and a couple other of the public service departments, and put on a car show. And immediately there was a few people that reached out to me and said, "Would you attend?" And I said, "Yes, I would. It would be an honor and a privilege to attend." And Project Spirit did not trophy that day, but I still have a lot of footage from that day. And so again, real quick, be sure to check out each other's channels and be sure to support one another, get to know one another. That's how we build the community. So network. Be sure to do plenty of that during this stream. And again, I will say it, and my moderators know that I'm perfectly cool with this. If you have a channel and you want to push a certain video, feel free to drop the link to that video in the chat during the stream. I'm perfectly okay with that. And moderators, you guys know to what to look for and what to that sort of thing. You guys know what to do. I trust you guys. That's why you guys are moderators. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Again, we get. I see right now a total of three in the live, a total of 6 likes. Thank you all so much as we talk about uh, my project car, my daily driven classic, a 1975 Ford Maverick. And for the record, I'm going to say it again. Y'all have been hearing me say this a little bit more. My beautiful wife gave me the money to buy that car. She also had talked the guy down actually herself, and he was selling Project Spirit for 1,200, and Princess Faye talked him down to 1,000. So uh, I got an amazing wife. I got an amazing wife. Um, all right. So that was basically we did this car show to help raise money. All the proceeds went to the family. Basically to help support the kids and everything after that car accident. Hey, what's going on, Harrison? Showing off Project Spirits trophies. Today's trophy day. We're going to talk about it because there's an excellent chance we may not get to do car shows this year. Project Spirit's looking real good too right now. She's actually looking pretty doggone snazzy right now. I mean, we still got a lot of work to do to her, but she's getting there. I know you don't, Harrison. Get your butt back here. It's so good to have Harrison in the chat, guys. I'm going to tell you right now. You all know it. I mean, if you for those that do not know, I have, the people that are in my channel right now, here in the chat, that are marked in blue are some of the most amazing people that I've gotten to know here on YouTube. And they always, if I'm in well, we did, remember? The taillight panel, we just put that video up. The Return to Glory, that mini series is dedicated to Project Spirit on how to make, basically we're bringing her back to show car status. That's how we do that, and I'm showing you guys how we do things like that. As a matter of fact, I don't want to give away too much, but we're going to, for some of the edited content coming out, we got some video footage of Project Lena, Princess Faye's 2003 Pontiac Grand Am GT. And then we've got some other stuff that we're doing to Spirit. Basically, after that car show, basically helping raise proceeds for the family that, basically for some children that were orphaned. That was the last. Oh, she's in the living room right now, probably playing World of Warcraft. She might be in the live. I don't know. But anyhow, so that was basically Project Spirit's last show for 2016. So then 2017, basically, as car show season's getting ready to start, we started having some breakdowns and stuff. So we couldn't show Project Spirit for the entire 2017 car show year. So that it sucked. But basically, at the end of the 2000, basically 2018's rolling in. We got Project Spirit, ready to go. Where she's still drivable and everything. We started hitting car shows like crazy again. So the first, right. The first car show for 2018 is right here. And this was a Project Spirit's another third place trophy for Project Spirit. Basically, she was again she was in the Street Machines class. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here for me. I hope that. But this is Project Spirit's second, third place trophy, and she by this time we had quite a bit of detail work starting to go into her. So now she's starting to actually look like something, and that sort of thing. Well, and for those that do not know, this is my third Azalea Festival trophy. Remember, there was a project car long before Project Spirit. Um, well, we're maybe by the time we can get to car shows, maybe that'll be a thing. Maybe she will bring home some first place, another first place trophy. So this is the third Azalea Festival I've been to, and every year we go, we always bring home a trophy. Now the Azalea Festival technically is coming up this year, but again, I don't know with this whole pandemic going on if that's going to be a thing. Hopefully, we get the all clear before they put on the Azalea Festival, but there's an excellent chance that we won't get to do it. So, but yeah, so this was her third place trophy for the Street Machines class, and believe it, and we've got the video up. If you guys want, I can go in and grab that video, grab the link to it, and post it so you guys can see the video footage of what of all the cars that were there. But basically, the Azalea Festival car show is huge. It's very huge. And I was up against a lot of really nice looking Mopars. But Project Spirit was the only one that was daily driven still. So that did give her a little bit of an edge. And she is a local car. So as a matter of fact, even in that video footage, you can actually see the guy handing handing this trophy to me at the tail end of the video. So it was really cool to be able um, to do that, to pick up this trophy. And it was her first time back. And there was the whole thing that we did take a guy with us who has his own YouTube channel. But we would later on, I would have to distance myself from that guy because of hey, what's going on, Fleming, the ultimate grave taker. Um, Thank you so much for being here in the live. There's another one that has always come into the live, and hang on a second. We need to make another change here. He's been in here enough. Booyah! All right. Fleming, if you'll say something in the chat, you'll notice a slight change in your in the color of the text on your name. Because you have been in here enough. I know you'll watch my back, and it means the world to me that I know that you will. But anyhow, so yeah, after a like a 6 month hiatus, we got a total of 7 in the chat that I could see, and a total of 8 likes. But yes, this was Project Spirit's first trophy of 2018. So it was a lot of fun. I had a great time. And then the next show that we did was actually right here in the town that I live in, Bonne Terre. It was over at the high school. Again, all the proceeds went directly to the school because where I live, there's not a whole lot of funding for the schools. So they'll do charity stuff and to kind of raise that money. So car shows are an easy one because a lot of people will turn out for car shows. Well, Project Spirit, this was I guess you could say she tied for second place in her class again, and this was right here in my hometown. So this was the last trophy that Project Spirit brought home. Now we did do more car shows in 2018, and more specifically, one of the last ones that we did was in Jackson, Missouri. We did one in Jackson, Missouri, and drove all the way down to Jackson, Missouri. It was about 2.5 hours away. And what's my favorite food and drink? Um, gosh, well, my favorite drink would be coffee. My favorite food, gosh, I don't necessarily have a favorite. I just got foods that I just can't eat. But other than that, I mean, my favorite, I'll eat just about anything. I'm not picky. I'm not picky for the most part. There's certain foods that don't react very well to me because all the drinking I did back in the day. So because of that, it is what it is. Uh, but yes, this was Project Spirit's very last trophy, and brought right here in my hometown. So for those that were at the North County High School, a lot of people, uh, there's actually a gentleman who inherited a early '90s Buick Regal that from his grandparents because his grandpa had passed away, and they basically the family said, "Well, here's your car. It was grandpa's. Take care of it." And he's been working on it and fixing it and all that good stuff. He's very proud of that car. And I'm sitting there going, "That is the most unusual project," but I totally get it. I haven't talked to that guy in a long while. I hope he's doing good. I hope he still got the car because I know he was. Last time I seen him, he was still putting a lot of work into it and kind of restoring some things. It was pretty neat to see. Again, it's kind of an unusual, one of those unusual. I know that year. Thank you so much, Sean. You guys are awesome. Again, um, see, that's why I got my moderators. Remind everyone, drop that like, drop that like. Again, I can only see right now currently 5 in the live and a total of 8 likes. Thank you all so much. Believe it or not, where I'm at, it's 8:16 where I live in the evening. I live in Missouri, so it's what we call Central Standard Time, and usually I go for about an hour, hour and a half in the worst case scenario. Sometimes I have been known to go all the way up to 2 hours. Just trying to share positive stories, positive vibes. We'll do positive, as much positive stuff as we possibly can. I do owe someone a card trick explanation. Um, so let me real quick before I forget, because I don't want to forget. A promise is a promise. I'm going to show how to do the 3 ladies. Hang on a second. I need a deck of cards. Perfect. One of my practice. And then I'll tell some more stories about Project Spirit. But real quick, this is just a practice deck. A practice deck. Yeah, Sean. Yeah, that's what a lot of people call it. They call it misery here. Honestly, this state used to be really great. Back during the days hang on, back in the '80s, Missouri was a really, really good state. It was a wonderful place to live. We had good politicians in place. That of course that was also during the Reagan administration. So times were great. In the '90s, it started going downhill. Now today, it's a cesspool. But hey, it is what it is. All right, real quick. Now you guys asked me how. You guys wanted to see how to do that card trick. I'm going to explain it now. Let's see. What am I looking at here? Find the queens really quick. Yeah, you could definitely tell I was practicing with these. There's a couple of queens. And of course, I have to have the Queen of Hearts because I always say that my wife is my Queen of Hearts when it comes to doing magic tricks. But as promised, I will give this secret away. Uh-oh, where is the Queen of Hearts? Right there. All right. Now, what you guys actually seen, and I had this set up off camera, so all I had to do was reach over and grab it. Please note how I was holding the cards. I was holding them right like this, okay? Now, always remember with a magician, this is what you see, but there's always something shady going on behind the scenes, okay? So right here is what you've seen. Back here basically you didn't see that there was a total of three other cards in behind all of this. Okay. So that's what, so what I did was with a little bit of sleight of hand trickery, I could have easily put these cards up right like this. You would not see it, fan them out right in front of you, and you guys would not have been the wiser. Then what I did was is I took and pushed them together right like that, put them down, and please note when I put them on top of the deck, the cards that I don't want you all to see, basically the ones that are in behind the queens are now on top. And whenever I held it up to the camera, notice I held them like this, okay? Because if I'd held them like this, you would have seen how I was doing the trick. So then I moved them right like that, put them in various places, okay? And just kind of did it like that. It didn't matter at that point because the queens are now right here on the top, loaded, ready to go. And I just say some trickery sort of stuff and then maybe snap my fingers. And then just like that, the queens are already at the top. And that's how that trick works. So if you were wondering, how I did that yesterday, now you know. So there you have it. So you guys, like I said, I gave away, I put the one up on the ring trick, how I did that with the rubber band, made my wedding ring climb up that rubber band. I reposted the video on the community page so you guys could see that. But now I went ahead and gave away another secret on that cartridge. So now you know that's a classic trick. Normally it's done with either kings or sometimes the jacks, and they call it like the three cowboys or the three bank robbers. I'm probably not going to watch. I don't watch wrestling very often anymore. It's just not as exciting as it once was from back whenever I was when I was a lot younger. See, I was a teenager in the 90s and wrestling was really, really awesome. But it's just, yeah, well, people are getting smart and staying away, and I don't know what Vince McMahon has a place to do all of this, you know. He has a place to do it, and he really should just be doing it live like that. But I don't know. I don't know. We got a total of 6 people. Brother, it's been busy here. It's been crazy busy here. Um, I will be out there tomorrow doing some work, so you will get that Axel code. Calm yourself. It's been crazy busy here. We just got through showing off some of Spirit's old trophies because right now it doesn't look like there's going to be any car shows this year. But if there was one that was one of my favorite car shows to do, was the one in Jackson. This is about time my buddy Third Gen, who is now in the chat, who also owns a Maverick. Okay, so guys, if oh, thank you so much, Rowan, for being here for me. For those that do not know, Third Gen 83 actually owns. Yeah, I've been busy. I haven't even had a chance to do that yet. I have hardly. I've either been at work or I've been here working on the next part of the project. And then, of course, we've been going live every night. So, yes, I know it only takes a few minutes, but like it's been that busy where I've not had a chance to stop and do anything else. And I'm also trying to take care of me too at the same time, because there's an excellent chance that they're going to be locking down my area where I live. So I will have plenty of time to get that Axle code for you soon. It looks like because we just had our first cases, and it's already starting to make its way around. So it's going to be that mandatory staying inside pretty soon. So you'll get plenty of codes soon. We're going to have plenty of time to pick apart good old Spirit. It sucks. It sucks, but that's just how it is. So. As much as I've been ready to hit the car show scene and all of that, it's just unfortunate that right now we're probably not going to be able to do that. But that it is what it is. Right now, the main thing is that we remain positive. And hey, look at the bright side. If that is the case where everyone's kind of, I'll have plenty of time to get a lot of work done to Spirit and all of that stuff like that. So by the end of the year, But the car show I enjoyed the most, and this is about the time that I was first getting to know my dear friend Third Gen 83, who again also owns right, who also owns a beautiful. If you've not checked out his channel, you definitely need to. Uh, Hey, think different. Welcome to the live. We've got a total of 6 people in the live, a total of 10 likes. Holy cow. Wow, that is amazing. But I went down to this car show in Jackson, and one of the things that I do, and there is my beautiful wife, Princess Faye Rue, for those who have been asking. But Princess Faye and I took Project Spirit down to this car show in Jackson. And let me tell you all a little bit about whenever I go to a car show, and I know I'm going to be taking Project Spirit. Nothing's going on yet. I just got excited because you came in the live, honey. Anyhow, uh, yes. So one of the things that I do out of thank you, Gotans, for being here for me. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, he's so awesome. Uh, One of the things that I do out of respect for the people putting on, putting on a car show is I will call the people and say, I run a YouTube channel. I run the Prince Magnum channel. I'd like to come to, I'd like to come to your car show. We'll be bringing camera equipment, and yes, we will be bringing one of our project cars, at least one of our project cars. And um, when I do that, they're usually like, "Well, what are you bringing?" They get kind of excited, And the people down in Jackson were very much like, when I said, "Well, I'm bringing our the car on my channel known as Project Spirit, a 1975 Ford Maverick four-door sedan," and they're like, "What? I haven't heard of anyone bring a Maverick." And I said, in the other project car at that time, we had just gotten added Project Lena. Said, and a 2003 Pontiac Grand Am GT. And they said, bring anything you want. We would love to have you here, and appreciate you even asking permission before you just showed up with camera equipment and stuff. Um, hey, what's going on, Mike? Welcome to the live, buddy. Just telling stories about Project Spirit. He said, but I will ask. He said, you bring whatever you want. A total of 7 people in the live and 11 likes. Um, so basically, in a nutshell, he's like, bring whatever you want, but I will. He said, but I will make one major request. Bring whatever you like, just as long as you bring that Maverick. He said, the one you call Project Spirit. And I said, you definitely yes. I said, well, she's just kind of a heads up. She's a little beat up. And he's like, I don't care. He's like, what does anybody expect a four-door Maverick to look like after all these years? I mean, really? He's like, how long have you had the car? And I said, well, I've had it this long, and I still daily drive it. He's like, yeah, you definitely got to bring that car. I would love to see it. I said, well, it's got to see. So I started giving the tail of the tape. He started asking a lot of questions about Spirit. So by the time that we got to, wow, a total of 5 right now showing up on my counter in the live right now, and a total of 12 likes. That is freaking awesome. But when we took Project Spirit down there, and him, that particular gentleman I talked to, and the judges, when they came around, they were really excited about seeing. Yeah, now we got 12 likes. Holy cow! When we started, when they came around, and they said, "Oh, it says 13." It hasn't updated for me yet. It's still updating. Um, but basically, when they came around to see Project Spirit, the guy said, "This is the car I've been dying to see." And they're looking at it, they're like, "Really? You said she was beat up, but she's in actually really great shape for a 1975 Ford Maverick four-door. She's actually in pretty damn good shape. She looks really good." And I said, well, let's, I started walking around the car. But then when I told Project Spirit's story, because most people, and third gen 83, he would actually be able to tell you, normally his car still have its story intact because he's like the second owner of that car. So because of that, its story is intact. But normally, even with a car that's got maybe that you buy from a used car lot, okay, in most cases these cars do not have their stories intact. Project Spirit's one of the ones that has kind of been, the ownership has changed hands a couple of times and still has her story intact. So when I told them this is how her story started off, you were number 12. That's awesome. That's awesome. Appreciate you guys being in here for me. But when um, when I was telling them their story, they said it's very rare that a classic car still have its story intact, and the fact that Project Spirit still has her story. Even if you buy one that's got maybe 5, 6 years, well, a fine example, Project Lena, a 2003 Pontiac Grand Am GT does not have her story intact anymore. I mean, we got bits and pieces, but not enough to really string together her full story. Yes.
Just come and say hi.
Well, thank you, honey. We just.
Mm.
Oh, kitty. This is our black cat Galaxy. Isn't she cute? We even got old video footage on the channel where she was a little kitten. Okay. She wants down, honey. There you go.
Oh, give me her blanket.
Okay. But yeah, anyhow, we love our cats here. But anyhow, um, so that was the big one. And then when I showed them the odometer, how many miles was on it, and everything, they're like, "Man, this is awesome!" And you drive this car every day. I said, "Yep, drive it every day to work, unless she's broke down." And they're like, "Shoot, that's pretty freaking awesome." I said, "Nah, I'm pretty sure you guys want to hear the old six-cylinder start and run and all that." They said, "Yes." And as soon as I hit that key, they look at each other and they're like, I mean, by this time, a nice crowd had gathered around to listen to the story. And then when the old engine fired up, people were just really, the old timers, from that car club, they're looking at each other, smiling real big, saying, hitting on every six. Oh, third gen asked a question. Where did Lena's name come from?
Have you ever heard of Xena, the warrior princess?
Yeah, Xena the Warrior Princess.
Well, my favorite cat's also leopard, so I took the X and put an L on there. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
Which is really funny because one of my favorite animes, the main character is actually called Lena,
Really?
and that's I think it's Slayers. That's Lena Inverse is the main character. Old anime. It was one of my first animes I ever saw when I was a kid.
That's awesome. Yeah. So there you have that. Xena Warrior Princess. Drop the Z and add an L. Pretty
Yep.
cool.
L for leopard, because kitty cats go rar.
But yeah, that was actually the last car show that Project Spirit got to do. But and at about that time, the flywheel, all the teeth were knocked off, starter was down. We had a heck of a time putting her back together.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was a nightmare. So 2019, we didn't get to do car shows at all. It sucked because we were too busy putting her back on the road. And then the day comes, we're turning that key over, and the changes are being made and everything. Uh, the, in that year hiatus that Spirit was off the road, a lot of stuff changed. We got the front disc brake conversion done. We had a lot of stuff done to that drivetrain. And now that is a funny question. Does Project Spirit ever? You know what I mean. You know what? I'll tell
I'm
you.
gonna walk away on that one.
You
I
know,
have
I'm
no
gonna tell
interest
you
in
what.
that.
Keeping it nice and clean and everything. Um, for those that do not know, if anybody ever, gives me any giggity, um, you know, let me say it like this. For those that do not know, um, if anybody ever, says anything bad about Project Spirit, I get defensive because, Princess Faye actually gave me the money to buy that car. Okay. She's like, here's the $1,000 that the guy wants for it, and, and we bought her and put her on there. So let me say it right now, Project Spirit is the most prized possession that my wife has ever given me. I mean, she bought me my classic car. She also bought me the content for my channel, and we work on her together, so it's very special. That said, uh, you know, Princess Faye and I have taken, we go out on dates in Project Spirit, that bench seat. I mean, that's a running gag on the channel, having the bench seat, put my arm around her and stuff like that. And, so as far as that goes, yeah, yeah. I mean, after after a drive or something like that, with, Princess Faye and I, just use your imagination right there. Now, if you're wondering if I have done anything risque, I guess you could say, in Project Spirit with my wife, I'm going to plead the fifth on that one. I say no more. Come on. What am I going to say? Anyhow, but yeah, so there you have it. Oh my gosh. You guys are awesome. Oh man. So the things that you said in the chat today. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Again, for those that do not know, well, uh, of course, it was with my beautiful wife. Um, as much as I would love to answer that question, some things in my personal life we should just leave alone. Um, it's one of those things that, I will just say that, that Princess Faye and I have christened Project Spirit proper. We'll just leave it at that. Front and back seat. Again, one of the reasons why I love the bench seat up front. Anyhow, you guys are bad. Real quick, I'll tell you a joke my dad used to tell about the duck. Real quick, okay. You guys, the old ducktail spoilers on cars of the '70s. I'm so in trouble later. My dad always used to say, you know what those spoilers are actually there for, son?" I said, well, it creates aero. That's it. Yeah, yeah, whatever, whatever. He said, no, those spoilers are there. So when you got your date up on the trunk lid and and that way she don't slide off the trunk. My own father said this to me. Well, we might need to upgrade those rear leaf springs. Any, and of course I have to say it like that. I guess that's what we call dragon wagon. I am so getting in trouble for this stream. I will say it again, been married almost 6 years and I still chase after my wife like I never caught her. You know, that's what's up, right, guys? Oh man. Anyhow, so yeah, I mean, it was within reason. I didn't go out of my way. You know, I didn't give details. Got to go to the Pornhub account. No, I'm teasing about that. I'm so getting beaten. Y'all see me come on the stream tomorrow with a black eye. You know what happened. Oh man. So if you ever wanted to see see some stories on Project Spirits trophies, but yeah, this is her one and only first place trophy for all the way back in 2016, and she didn't even look like much all the way back then. A lot's changed on the old girl, and you know, I will say it right now, Princess Faye and I continue to do the work. You know, when if we didn't trophy at the at that car show down in Jackson, but I will say that, you know, those people down there really made us feel welcome. They let us take all the video footage we wanted, uh, you know, stuff like that. And on top of that, you know, not only did they do that, but you know, when all those people were standing around listening to that you know, Project Spirit's old inline 250, um, nah, I ain't telling, you know. Anyhow, uh, they, you know, when her old engine turned over, was running and everything, a lot of those they just said she's hitting on all six. That is impressive after all these years. And you know, if all goes well, you know, we might be looking at doing a transmission swap again for Project Spirit. So it will be her third transmission, even though the one that's in there is fine for right now. We're gonna swap all that out because it's getting harder to get those parts for her. And Princess Faye has said she doesn't mind driving stick, but since we've made the changes, when you let out on that clutch, you're when the clutch lets out, she takes off. You know, she takes off pretty doggone quick if you're not careful. So because of that, Princess Faye feels a little uncomfortable driving stick now, and she doesn't do it enough. And yeah, I'll tell you straight up honest, she's not the tallest person you're going to meet. You know, she's not the tallest woman you're going to meet. She's like 5 foot. So, because of the stick shift, you can only take the seat so far forward. So, because of that, we need to look at doing an automatic so to be a little bit easier on her to drive Spirit. Because I know there's times that we want to take Project Lean off the road, and but yet you know she's got to go to work and everything, and it'd be easier if she could drive Spirit, but she won't touch her because you know even though it's a six cylinder and six cylinders are not really known for all the horsepower in the world, they're known for generating a good deal of torque. And that car will take off pretty hard if you're not careful. So, because of that, Princess Faye doesn't feel comfortable driving her. So, we're looking at doing an automatic swap. Along with that, I'm going to tell y'all straight up honest, it is getting really, really hard to get those the parts for those old cars anymore. Some of that old stuff you know, like for a 3 speed manual, the stick shift that's in there, you know, it's a Hurst shifter, it's the Hurst Indy shifter. And, you know, my buddy T-Bone and I, we actually had to cut the hole in the floor and everything, mount everything. It took us 12 hours because neither one of us had ever done it before. So we're, you know, we're doing it, you know, we're doing this whole thing and everything. And, hang on here. Okay. Yeah, we're still good. And as we're doing that, you know, doing that, oh wow, we got 13 likes. Yeah, there. Yeah, we knew that. We knew that. Duh. You know, so when we did all that, got everything mounted in, you know, let me say right now, when I contacted Jegs to get that stick shift, um, let me say right now, they said, "Oh yeah, yeah, we've got that particular shifter right now. It's actually on sale." I was like, "Wow, you know, you actually have that shifter on sale?" They said, "Yeah, man, we haven't had a call for one of these in a little while. One of these 3 speed Hurst Indy shifters. We haven't had a call for one of those in a long while." I said, "Really? Yeah, it's been quite a few years. As a matter of fact." I think you're like the first person in something like 10 years to do this. I said, man, that's awesome. And they said, as a matter of fact, I'm even reading right now that Hearst no longer makes these. This is a discontinued item. I said, well, how many is left on the shelf? He said, three. I said, how many after I buy this one? Two. So this has been almost like 4 years ago. Actually, it's been 4 years ago that we bought that. So I imagine all of them are gone now. You can no longer buy the Hearst Indy shifter for the three-speed manual transmissions anymore. That's now a thing of the past. And Project Spirit actually got one of the last ones. So because of that, we are definitely going to go ahead and pull eventually put an automatic in. All of that comes out, and of course, we're going to set that shifter aside. Maybe there might come a day when we might put something like that back in, maybe another car or something like that. But for right now, yeah, we're going to say, basically take all that out and set a lot of that aside and that sort of thing. Um, I won't put a hydraulic clutch in her. There's no sense in it. I mean, maybe if I was going to be, like racing her or something like that, yeah, maybe I might. But we're doing mostly show car stuff. Yeah, we'll slide around in the occasional corner or something like that and just have fun with the old girl. But nah, we'll go ahead and swap over to an automatic and we'll beef that thing up and we're going to have all sorts of fun with it. And the automatic that we're going to be going with is what they call the C4 automatic, typically bolted to the Windsor classes. And yeah, we're going to have time to do that too. We're going to have a lot of time on our hands to do a lot of stuff. So you guys are going to get a lot of uploaded content here, as time goes on, basically doing the work to the cars. As a matter of fact, we did do one today. I will have to, the video, the filming is not done, but Project Spirit is going to be getting some nice little add-ons. We got a total of 5 in the live and a total of 15 likes, 6 on the live. Basically, my chat keeps updating. Oh, you like, yeah, Project Spirit. Yeah, a lot of people love that old car. She's a lot of fun to drive. Cars is cool. Avery. Wow, we got all sorts of people I don't think I've seen in the live before. Wow. Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming in. As a matter of fact, like I said, we've been going over a lot of been showing off Project Spirit's trophies. I've got a total of 5 in here. I actually had to pull them down and dust them off quick. Total of 17 likes. Thank you all so much. I'll go ahead and show it again. This is Project Spirit's very first trophy, third place trophy, which is ironic. Her one and only first place trophy, 18 likes. Wow. Her first place. So this is her very first trophy, her third place trophy. This is her first place trophy, which just goes to Sad Cat. Hello, welcome to the live. So basically, if you guys ever wondered about that, yeah. So this is, which just goes to show whenever you do car shows, they get what they can afford. Well, Project Spirit is my partner. She's basically, I will say that Princess Faye bought the team that makes the Prince Magnum channel interesting. Um, Project Spirit is, I enjoy driving her every day, taking her to car shows and showing that you can have your classic car. You can have, you can have a classic car that's still a daily driver and it can be affordable, it can be economical, and it can be fun. I mean, having a four-door classic, I know a lot of people kind of sometimes look down the nose of a four-door classic car. But when you got, I'm a family man, and even though my kids aren't here, if they were here, having a four-door car makes a total sense. That's just how it is. And the fact that Project Spirit still has her story intact, and since we're live, why don't I just tell the story a little bit? I'll go ahead and tell the story of Project Spirit. Project Spirit, when she was bought, for those that do not know, that color of blue that you see on her, the joke used to be, and I've been telling this a little bit more as of late. Uh, the color of blue that's on Project Spirit, actually pretty similar this, okay? We used to make fun of that color being on four-door cars because a four-door car that was painted this particular shade of blue was grandma's car, okay? So the irony of this is when Project Spirit was brand new, her original owner was a little old grandma who bought her and used to tootle around with her grandkids in the back of the car. Now, for those that do not know, uh, I mean, basically, this woman drove this car. She'd drive to the grocery store, to church, all that stuff like that. So all of Project Spirit's miles on her engine was all like in town driving and that sort of thing. So, um, for those that are familiar, basically, that's what she was designed for, just tootling around. She wasn't really meant for some of the stuff that we do here on the channel. Of course, now as time goes on, we've made her a little bit more to do the stuff that but initially when we got her, no, she could barely chirp the tires, and that was if you were on gravel. It's kind of like that. But anyhow, um, time rolls on. Of course, she picks up her dents and her dings, like any car out there. And so the little lady, she loved this car. She loved Project Spirit. And things started breaking on Spirit. Well, in the late 80s, it was really getting hard to find, in some places, some of the parts to keep those cars on the road. And for those who do not know, the Mavericks in the 1980s, they used to be everywhere. I mean, you couldn't go a block where I lived, at least, without seeing one, okay? They were everywhere. And that's why you'll sometimes hear me say, quite possibly, the Ford Maverick was one of the most popular used cars in the 1980s, and they stopped making them in 1977 in this country. But anyhow, so Spirit, she's starting to fall into disrepair. They were having a hard time getting parts for her. See, we had internet in the 1980s, but it's definitely not like the internet today where you could go on there and kind of search different websites and you'll find the parts that you're looking for. Back then, the best we had. Oh, thank you so much, Mike, for being here for me. I appreciate that. And, I mean, if you got any questions, don't be afraid to ask, but, that sort of thing. But anyhow, basically in a nutshell, Spirit, um, she started falling into disrepair. We had internet at that time, and it was called Telnet. It's definitely not like the internet of today, but with Telnet, how am I? Oh, Mike, thank you for being here for me. It means the world to me. How am I? So far I'm okay. I think like a lot of people, my sinuses have been acting up a little bit of sore throat, but nothing to throw up any roadblocks. And I think that sore throat is because every one of us is around so many cleaning chemicals right now. It just burns the throat. You know what I'm saying? It's just like leaving our throats raw from smelling all the bleach and everything else. And just being around all the stuff, the sanitizers and things like that, just trying to get through this nightmare, this global pandemic. But anyhow, um, so so Project Spirit was literally put into a barn, um, and she was stored there for around 20 years. Um, and now, after the 20 years, the grandma has passed away. And the family's like, well, we got to do something with this old car. Grandma really liked it. So one of her sons stepped in and said, I'll put the car back on the road. So he takes possession of Project Spirit. And he started putting her back on the road. And I could actually see where he was working. And he did take apart her original engine and came to the conclusion as he was taking it apart, there's nothing wrong with this engine. And he put her all back together just the way she was. Did not change anything. But in the midst of him putting her back together, he goes to the doctor and he finds out he's got cancer. So Project Spirit's return to the road was put on hold. And he ended up dying from cancer. And then one of the grandkids, one of the ones that may have put those scratches that I showed you guys in the live last week when we did the walk around of Project Spirit, those scratches may have been put by the grandkid who then takes possession of it. and he starts trying to work on Project Spirit. He's got things all jacked up in her. Okay. She would run, but not very well. And I'm going to get to that in a moment. But then he in the midst of all this, he's like, I can't get the car running. I've got two choices. One, I put her up on Craigslist and sell her for a reasonable price, or two, if she doesn't sell on Craigslist after so long, we're going to go ahead and send her to the scrap heap. And when Princess Faye and I seen Project Spirit on Craigslist, she was about a week away from going to the crusher, is what he actually told us. So literally, I guess you could say that when we went down to pick up Project Spirit, we literally snatched her from the jaws of the crusher. Um, and we drove her home, which that was kind of an interesting trip because we had a lot of problems with the electrical system. So one of the things he had jacked up. Um, the original alternator was working, but it wasn't working super well. Voltage regulator was going out. I mean, he had some wires crossed in there. Um, and she kept running real funny when you come up to a stop. She did this surge thing. Vacuum leak. And we looked and looked and looked, could not find any vacuum. Well, we did find some where there was vacuum leaks, but what it boiled down to is the guy who had her last was shoving twigs. And basically, that's good if you blow a line and you're just trying to get home. Something like that is good for a temporary, but it's not good to just do and leave. Well, basically, one of the things that we were doing while going through her was fixing and putting actual valve caps in place, because he had that thing all the vacuum lines all jacked up, and we were capping off and rehooking up lines and things like that. Well, in the midst of all this, she was getting better, but she wasn't where she should be. I took her over to a buddy's, and he fixed one of the electrical issues and fixed some of the issues with that I didn't see with the alternator. But then he basically took and sprayed down right along the base of her carburetor, and she started acting fine with a carburetor cleaner. So he did it again. He's like, "You got a vacuum leak right there." And he said there's no gasket between the intake manifold and the base of the carburetor. That's why. Now, the irony of that is we actually have a pattern for that certain part because the where that particular base plate, um, if you will, there's like a removable base plate from the bottom of it, and then there's like a normal gasket that everyone's familiar with that you can get at AutoZone. And you set that down on top of the kind of the secondary base plate, which Ford kind of switched out willy nilly on the six cylinders. Then underneath that base plate is where the gasket was missing. Well, that gasket doesn't exist really. You have to either use like a silicone sealer, or a high temp silicone sealer, or you have to make a gasket and put that into place. So we literally just cut one out every now and again and just sandwich it in between it, with a little bit of high temp gasket sealer, and it does just fine. But that was what he forgot. And I was actually staying in contact with that guy. And then when I sent him a message saying we figured out what was wrong, it was a missing gasket between the intake manifold and the carburetor. The guy stopped talking to me. He wanted nothing to do with me after that. So, so he was pretty. There's no reason to be mean like that. It's not my fault. We fixed it. And we've had her ever since, and she's been a lot of fun to drive. And I knew when I laid eyes on Project Spirit that she was going to definitely be the true star of the channel. And a lot of people have really come. Again, my buddy, third gen 83, he himself has a 73 Ford Maverick of his own. Um, you know, uh, he's always, like, man, do this next, and stuff like that. He really gets behind, doing the work to Project Spirit. And initially, he's like, it's a four-door car, but then the more and more he's watching, the more and more I think he's fallen in love with her as much as even I have, you know, and because just having, I will say it again. I still got a lot of teenager left in me, and I still have a lot of fun. And I think a lot of people sometimes that's what they really enjoy the most is I'm just having fun with an old car, going to car shows, going out on dates with my wife, and doing some stuff that I probably shouldn't be doing. Even at my age and at Project Spirit's age, we shouldn't be doing that stuff, but we're having fun. We're having a good time. And I think that's the biggest draw is the fact that we're having so much fun with with an old car, and the fact that I still drive her every day. Believe me, with everything going on right now, let me say right now, it is really nice to be able to crawl into Project Spirit after a day of work and having to worry, did I come into contact with anyone that is going to make me very, very sick for a little while? So it's really nice to be able to crawl into a car like that and help me kind of forget the troubles of what's going on, even even right now, especially right now. So let me say that right now, Project Spirit's probably one of the things that's keeping me sane. So again, my wife getting me exactly what I need to kind of deal with life. And, having a classic car is what helps me deal with life. So if y'all ever, if you will, Project Spirits, keeping me young and my wife gave that to me. So again, I have a wonderful wife. I can't thank her enough for putting up with me. And we have a lot of fun in that car. Go out, man, nothing like going out on a date in a, in Project Spirit. People are like, man, that is such a cool car. And, you're out with your wife. And, people eat that stuff up. They love that stuff. That's why we started adding that to Surviving Romance. Of course, we got to put that on hold for a little while, too. It sucks, man. It sucks. So, we got a lot of time to do a lot of work to her. Matter of fact, I still got a bunch of parts over here that's still got to go on the old girl. Um, Along with a brand new transmission mount, if they gave me the right one. But yeah, we got a bunch of that stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I got a funny feeling that as the quarantines continue, I'm probably going to have a whole lot of time to do a lot of work to Project Spirit, which is just fine by me. Now I will say that as time goes on, we are going to continue to go live as many times throughout the weeks as we possibly can. I will let you guys know on my community posting. I will post it on the community page here on YouTube if we're not gonna go live that day. Mostly, I'm just trying as time is going on and while we're dealing with all of this. Uh, Nah. Well, yeah, that's kind of a horrible way to put it, but it's funny, but it's kind of how it is right now. We're all just trying to survive this mess. And I know I'm debating on whether or not we're going to be doing a basically an urban survival for In Your Face tomorrow. We might do that. We might do some cooking to kind of help you all stretch your food supplies a little bit during these tough times. I know that we do need to do another one for your health at some point and kind of get people caught up to speed on some different things that people. So basically, some stuff that people are making mistakes on, and some other stuff that we can do to kind of help our health out a little bit. We might combine that with urban survival right now. That little mini series. Basically, we In Your Face is supposed to be going away at the end of 2020. We will no longer be doing In Your Face, that series. We've kind of, what initially was meant to do is not what it ended up doing. And right now, we are keeping In Your Face alive, and we have added basically kind of a short mini series that I will be glad to end that mini series, basically urban survival, and we're going to be hitting as much of what we could do to stretch food supplies, to kind of protect ourselves during these dark times, and how to keep ourselves healthy. Just things that you would need to know if you live in a metropolitan area and just trying to basically survive this pandemic. So that's what we're going to look at. A lot of stuff like that. A lot of stuff like that. Um, you know, along with that, I know by Thursday or Friday, we will definitely be doing another Sober Talk live. We will definitely be doing another Sober Talk live. We're going to crack into the big book. We're going to find a particular topic, and we're going to ride that topic for a good stretch throughout the stream. And I know probably if we do the sober talk Thursday, Friday, I will probably take that day off and it'll be loaded content. If not, I might take Thursday off instead and just do sober talk live Friday night instead. But regardless, that's kind of the plan. Now by Saturday, weather depending, we might do something live on Project Spirit. We'll pull her a little close and do like we did when we did the walk around. We'll go out and maybe do something, do some simple stuff that anybody can do. Real easy stuff, as if we were getting ready to do car shows and things like that. So we'll definitely do stuff like that and kind of start showing you guys how to do a lot of that stuff. So that's kind of the game plan right now. Time will only tell what the week looks like. So we're going to try to stay live as much as possible throughout the week and do as much as we can to kind of help everyone stay positive during these dark times. And through this time frame, yes, third gent, buddy, I will try to get those. He wants to know what her gear ratio is, and he told me where to find the axle code. So right now, I have not had the opportunity to really even stop and take a look at that. But come on, I've been trying to stay busy to help everyone out as much as I can. And right now, I apologize. Give me some time. And I know you know that. I know you know that. You're just as excited as the rest of us when the work starts happening with Project Spirit. And hey, what's going on, Gavin John? Uh, so that's kind of the game plan right now. Is we're just trying to stay busy right now. I know at some point we're probably throughout this. I know at some point we are going to try to do some old school life hacks. I've actually, for those that do not know, the Prince Magnum channel is working in conjunction with another YouTube channel, trying to help that YouTube channel get off the ground. So I also have another side project, I guess you could say. I'm affiliated with that channel, but I'm not affiliated. Um, basically I'm helping them kind of get their start, so they can take off and everything. And it's a slime channel called Kitty Slime. Uh, and I for some of her content to kind of get people to go over. Thank you so much for the 20th like. Wow. Thank you all so much. Basically, I'm going to show an old 80s life hack, and we might go ahead and just do that live. And I know at some point, maybe this week, depending on what all goes on, I know at some point during this week, we're going to crack out an old game, not a video game. And for those that do not know how to play this game, we're going to teach y'all how to do that, teach you some about the history. Um, and just different things like that, and show you guys a really really awesome classic game. I will give a little bit of a hint. It is a board game, but it's a very old board game, very old, very old. And I'll even tell you a little history behind it. Well, we'll get to all that. So that's kind of what we're looking at through this week. Again, I will be trying to post as much to the community, doing those community posts and kind of keep you all updated throughout the week, what we're doing. So we got a lot going on, and I will promise that we will do as much live as we possibly can, and it will be a focus on positive vibes no matter what. The Prince Magnum channel is going to do its damnedest to make sure that you all have something positive to look forward to in these dark times. And again, I will say it, all of you out there, you guys are the Maverick Nation. You guys are what make the Prince Magnum channel awesome. I have the best subscribers in the world. You guys are the Maverick Nation, okay? Hands down, bar none, I have the best subscribers in the world. You guys mean so much to me. And the fact that, I came on here and it's like, I was telling Princess Faye, I need to go live. I need to do something positive for everyone. You know, and I said, what do you think about me breaking out the trophies again and telling some stories about Project Spirit? She said, I think that would be a wonderful idea. It'd be a wonderful idea. I think that, she's like, Spirit's been, been a big help to the community, bringing smiles to their face. So, that makes sense. So we kind of talked about that and deliberated about it. And that's what we decided to do tonight. I will go ahead and tell one last story about Project Spirit, and then we'll go ahead and start winding it down for the night. Back when we first got Project Spirit, she'd only been on the road for maybe 2 weeks. As we bought her in late October 2015, and matter of fact, about a week before Halloween, and then it took us a month to put her on the road, and then once she was on the road, was driving her and that sort of thing. She'd been on the, I've been driving her for probably around 2 weeks. And I went over to the local pizzeria where Princess Faye works, one of the local pizzerias in our area. Went over there to pick her up from work, and I was out in Project Spirit, just kind of sitting there chilling. And there was some guys that were coming in to wax the floor in the pizzeria that she works in. And they were arguing with each other. And, the two guys were arguing with each other. And as they were arguing, the older guy, he looks at his partner and he says, "You shut the heck up." He didn't quite say it so nicely. He's like, "Shut the F up." And he says, "Young man, am I looking at an old Maverick?" I said, "Yes, sir, you are." I was sitting out there, sitting on Spirit's fender, having a cigarette. And he says, "I haven't seen a Maverick in years." He said, "Actually, I went through 3 of those cars when I was younger." He said, 2 of them were 2 doors and one of them was a 4-door. He said, "I had those when I was a young parent." And he had me walk her around her and just kind of look at her and everything. And then finally, I said, "Sir," I said, "you seem like you really, like you're really just reminiscing an awful lot." I said, "Would you like to sit behind the wheel?" And he said, "Sit behind the wheel of your Maverick." And at this time, we didn't even have the name for Project Spirit yet. I think that came like a week later. He's like, "I would love to sit behind the wheel." And he sits down behind the wheel of Project Spirit and he puts his hands up, and he's like, "Man, this takes me back to when I was a young parent and my kids were, still in diapers." And you could just see him look out over the hood and just imagining the open road and everything, and just being that young parent again. And you could start seeing that trick, he started crying. It took him back to a simpler time in his life. And he started crying a little bit. He says, "Young man, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to get emotional like this on you." He said, it took me back to when my kids were still real little. They were still in diapers. And he said, "And I was a younger man back then." And he said, "Thank you for letting me relive that for just a moment." He said it felt very special to be able to feel that once again. He said, "You have an amazing car right here." He said, "Take good care of her." And he, he walks away, and kind of touches Spirit's fender, her passenger front fender, as if, "Thank you," almost like he was saying thank you to Spirit, for letting me reminisce, for taking me back to when I was a young man again. So that was Project Spirit's very, very first, kind of that moment that she was that she kind of captured, that nostalgia for somebody, almost like captured it into a bottle for them, almost captured their youth, and they got to relive a moment. And that's probably one of my many favorite stories to tell about Project Spirit from way, way back when. So there you have that. That awesome story. Maybe sometime we'll have to do more stories about because I got a lot of stories about Project Spirit. I've got a ton of them, a ton of them. So maybe we might have to do this again sometime. You guys, let me know if you'd like to hear more stories about Spirit. But maybe we might do this when there's a little bit more daylight because right now I don't know how well you can tell, but it's getting dark outside. But anyhow, uh, next time we'll have to do it from inside Project Spirit. All right. So that brings us to a wonderful stopping point. Again, thank you all so much. No, I've never heard it, but now I'm going to have to look it up. Um, Speaking of music, sometime I'm going to have to remake the playlist of all the times I've been on stage singing. You guys might get a kick out of that. Most would be shocked to know that I'm actually a halfway decent singer. I've been told that the videos don't do me any justice, but hey, it is what it is. You guys can still at least see that, right? All right. So that brings us to a good point where we can go ahead and start winding it down. It's getting late here. I do have to work tomorrow. I will be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning. Again, thank you all so much for being in the live. Brought that story to mind, did it? Okay. Now I'm definitely going to have to look at it. Um, So again, thank you all so much for being here for me and allowing me to kind of come to where it is you're at, wherever you are in the world, and share some positive vibes and to share, to maybe hopefully share some hope with you all. You guys continue to give me a reason to come on live and to share as much positive vibes as I possibly can. You guys mean the world to me. Again, and I know I've been saying this a lot more lately. I have the best subscribers in the world. You guys are the Maverick Nation. And that's why, I'm the luckiest creator in the world. Never mind, all those ones that got millions, I have the best subscribers in the world. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here for me today, for me. All right. That brings us to that point. All right. As much as you can, get out there and work on a project. I don't care what it is. Just do something with yourself, okay? Even if it's doing something simple like, you know, work on a model or anything like just do something with yourself, okay? Keep yourself occupied right now. All right. If you have a sweetheart, do as much as you can to sweep them off their feet today. All right. Do something special with them. Okay. As much as you can. And for all of you out there, no matter what's going on in your life, okay, especially in these dark times, if no one out there has told you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.